The Apocrypha Sirach of the King James Bible 1611. Sirach Ecclesiasticus, the wisdom of Yahshua, the son of Sirach, or Ecclesiastica. All wisdom cometh from mighty God Ahiah, and is with him forever. Who can number the sand of the sea, and the drops of rain, and the days of eternity? Who can find out the height of heaven, and the breadth of the earth, and the deep of wisdom? Wisdom had been created before all things, and the understanding of prudence before everlasting. The word of mighty God Ahiah, the Most High, is the fountain of wisdom, and her ways are everlasting commandments. To whom had the roots of wisdom been revealed, or who had known her wise counsels? And to whom had the knowledge of wisdom been made manifest, and who had understood her great experience? There is one wise and greatly to be feared, and that's mighty God Ahiah sitting upon his throne. He created her and saw her and numbered her and poured her out upon all his works. She is with all flesh according to his gift, and he had given her to them that love him. The fear of mighty God Ahiah is honor and glory and gladness and a crown of rejoicing. The fear of mighty God Ahiah maketh a merry heart, and giveth joy and gladness and a long life. Whoso feareth mighty God Ahiah, it shall go well with him at the last, and he shall find favor in the day of his death. To fear mighty God Ahiah is the beginning of wisdom, and it created with the faithful in the womb. She had built an everlasting foundation with men, and she shall continue with their seed. To fear mighty God Ahiah is fullness of wisdom, and filleth men with her fruits. She filleth all their house and things desirable, and the gardeners with her increase. The fear of mighty God Ahiah is a crown of wisdom, making peace and perfect health to flourish, both which are the gifts of mighty God Ahiah, and it enlarged their rejoicing that love him. Wisdom raineth down skill and knowledge of understanding, standing, and exalted them to honor that hold her fast. The root of wisdom is the fear of mighty God Ahiah, and the branches thereof are long life. The fear of mighty God Ahiah driveth away sins, and where it is present, it turneth away wrath. A furious man cannot be justified, for the sway of his fury shall be his destruction. A patient man will tarry for a time, and afterward joy shall spring up unto him. He will hide his words for a time, and the lips of many shall declare his wisdom. The parables of knowledge are in the treasures of wisdom, but godliness is an abomination to a sinner. If thou desirest wisdom, keep the commandments of mighty God Ahiah, and he shall give her unto thee. For the fear of mighty God Ahiah is wisdom and instruction, and faith and meekness, kindness are his delight. Distrust not the fear of mighty God Ahiah when thou art poor, and come not unto him with a double heart, being double-minded. Be not an hypocrite in the sight of men, and take good heed what thou speakest. Exalt not thyself, lest thou fall and bring dishonor upon thy soul, and so mighty God Ahiah discover thy secrets, and cast thee down in the midst of the congregation, the assembly of people, because thou camest not in truth to fear mighty God Ahiah, but thy heart is full of deceit. My son, if thou come to serve mighty God Ahiah, prepare thy soul for temptation, to set thy heart aright, and constantly endure, and make not haste in time of trouble. Cleave unto him, and depart not away, that thou mayest be increased at thy last end. Whatsoever is brought upon thee, take carefully, and be patient, and thou art changed to a low estate. For gold is tried in the fire, and acceptable men in the furnace of adversity. Believe in him, and he will help thee. Order thy way aright, and trust in him. You that fear mighty God Ahiah, wait for his mercy, and go not aside lest you fall. You that fear mighty God Ahia, believe him, and your reward shall not fail. You that fear mighty God Ahia, hope for good and for everlasting joy and mercy. Look at the generations of old and see, did ever any trust in mighty God Ahia and was confounded? Or did any abide in his fear and was forsaken? Or whom did he ever despise that calleth upon him? For mighty God Ahia is full of compassion and mercy, long-suffering, and very pitiful, and forgiveth sins, and saveth in time of affliction. Woe be to the fearful hearts and faint hands, and the sinner that goeth two ways. Woe unto him that is faint-hearted, for he believeth not, therefore shall he not be defended. Woe unto you that have lost patience, and what will you do when mighty God Ahia shall visit you? They that fear mighty God Ahia will not disobey his word, and they that love him will keep his ways. They that fear mighty God Ahia will seek that which is well-pleasing unto him, and they that love him shall be filled with the law. They that fear mighty God Ahia, will prepare their hearts and humble their souls in his sight. Please forgive my puppies. Saying, we will fall into the hands of mighty God Ahia, and not into the hands of men, for as he is majestic, so is his mercy. Hear me, your father, O children, and do therefore thereafter, that you may be saved. For mighty God Ahia had given the father honor over the children, and had confirmed the authority of the mother over the sons. Whoso honored his father, making an atonement for his sins, and he that honored his mother is as one that layeth up treasure. Whoso honored his father shall have joy of his own children, and when he maketh his prayer, he shall be heard. He that honored his father shall have a long life, and he that is obedient unto mighty God Ahia shall be a comfort to his mother. He that feareth mighty God Ahia will honor his father, and will do service unto his parents as to his master. Honor thy father and mother both in word and deed, and a blessing may come upon thee from them. For the blessing of the father establisheth the houses of children, but the curse of the mother rooted out foundations. Glory not in the honor or dishonor of thy father, for thy father's dishonor is no glory unto thee. For the glory of a man is from the honor of his father, and a mother's dishonor is a reproach to the children. My son, help thy father in his age, and grieve him not as long as he liveth. And if his understanding fail, have patience with him, and despise him not when thou art in thy full strength. For the relieving of thy father shall not be forgotten, and instead of sin it shall be added to build thee up. In the day of thine affliction it shall be remembered, thy sins also shall melt away, as the ice in the fair warm weather. He that forsaketh his father is a blasphemer, and he that angered his mother is a curse of mighty God Ahia. My son, go on with thy business in meekness, which is kindness, so shalt thou be beloved of him that is approved. The greater thou art, the more humble thyself, and thou shalt find favor before mighty God Ahia. Many are in high place and of renown, but mysteries are revealed unto the meek, the kind. For the power of mighty God Ahia is great, and he is honored of the lowly. Seek not out things that are too hard for thee, neither search the things that are above thy strength. But what is commanded thee, think thereupon with reverence, for it is not needful for thee to see with thine eyes the things that are in secret. Be not curious in unnecessary matters, for more things are showed unto thee than men understand. For many are deceived by their own vain opinion, and an evil suspicion had overthrown their judgment. Without eyes thou shalt want light, profess not the knowledge therefore that thou hast not. A stubborn heart shall fear evil at the last, and he that loveth danger shall perish therein. An obstinate heart shall be laden with sorrows, and the wicked man shall heap sin upon sin. In the punishment of the proud there is no remedy, for the plan of wickedness hath taken root in him. The heart of the prudent will understand a parable, and an attentive ear is the desire of a wise man. Water will quench a flaming fire, and alms make it an atonement for sins. And he that requireth good turns is mindful of that which may come hereafter, and when he falleth, he shall find a stay. My son, defraud not the poor of his living, and make not the needy eyes to wait long. Make not an hungry soul sorrowful, neither provoke a man in his distress. Add not more trouble to an heart that is vexed, and defer not to give to him that is in need. Reject not the supplication of the afflicted, neither turn away thy face from a poor man. Turn not away thine eye from the needy, and give him none occasion to curse thee. For if he curse thee in the bitterness of his soul, his prayer shall be heard of him that made him. Get thyself the love of the congregation of assembly, and bow thy head to a great man. Let it not grieve thee to bow down thine ear to the poor, and give him a friendly answer with meekness, with kindness. Deliver him that suffered wrong from the hand of the oppressor, and be not faint-hearted when thou sittest in judgment. Be as a father unto the fatherless, and instead of an husband unto their mother, so shalt thou be as the Son of the Most High, and he shall love thee more than thy mother do. Wisdom exalted her children, and laid hold of them that seek her. He that loveth her loveth life, and they that seek to her early shall be filled with joy. He that holdeth her fast shall inherit glory, and wheresoever she entereth, mighty God Ahia will bless. They that serve her shall minister to the Holy One, and them that love her, loveth Ahia, mighty God Ahia, doth love. Whoso giveth ear unto her shall judge the nations, and he that attendeth unto her shall dwell securely. If a man committed himself unto her, he shall inherit her, and his generation shall hold her in possession. For at the first she will walk with him by crooked ways, and bear fear and dread upon him, and torment him with her discipline, until she make trust his soul, and try him by her laws. Then will she return the straight way unto him, and comfort him, and show him her secrets. But if he go wrong, she will forsake him, and give him over to his own ruin. Observe the opportunity, and beware of evil, and be not ashamed when it concerneth thy soul. For there is a shame that bringeth sin, and there is a shame which is glory and grace. Accept no persons against thy soul, and let not the reverence of any man cause thee to fall. And refrain not to speak when there is occasion to do good, and hide not thy wisdom in her beauty. But for by speech wisdom shall be known, and learning by the word of the tongue. And in no wise speak against the truth, but be abashed of the error in thine ignorance. Be not ashamed to confess thy sins, and force not the course of the river. Make not thyself an underling to a foolish man, neither accept the person of the mighty. Strive for the truth unto death, and mighty God Ahia shall fight for thee. Be not hasty in thy tongue, and in thy deeds slack and remiss. Be not as a lion in the house, nor frantic among thy servants. Let not thine hand be stretched out to receive, and shut when thou shouldest repay. Set thy heart upon thy goods, and say not, I have enough for my life. Follow not thine own mind and thy strength to walk in the ways of thy heart. And say not, who shall control me for my words? For mighty God Ahia will surely revenge thy pride. Say not, I have sinned, and what harm had happened unto me? For mighty God Ahia is long-suffering, he will in no wise let thee go. Concerning propitiation, be not without fear to add sin unto sin. Propitiation, And say not, his mercy is great, he will be pacified for the multitude of my sins, for mercy and wrath come from him, and his indignation rested upon sinners. Make no tarrying to turn to mighty God Ahia, and put not off from day to day, for suddenly shall the wrath of mighty God Ahia come forth, and in thy security thou shalt be destroyed and perish in the day of vengeance. Set not thine heart upon good unjustly gotten, for they shall not profit thee in the day of your calamity. When now not with every wind, and go not into every way, for so doth the sinner that had a double tongue. Be steadfast in thy understanding, and let thy word be the same. Be swift to hear, and let thy life be sincere, and with patience give answer. If thou hast understanding, answer thy neighbor. If not, lay thy hand upon thy mouth. Honor and shame is a talk, and the tongue of man is his fall. Be not called a whisperer, and lie not in wait with thy tongue, for a foul shame is upon the thief, and an evil condemnation upon the double tongue. Be not ignorant of anything in a great matter or a small. Instead of a friend, become not an enemy, for thereby thou shalt inherit an ill name, shame and reproach, even so shall a sinner that had a double tongue. Extol not thyself in the counsel of thine own heart, that thy soul be not torn in pieces as a bull straying along. Thou shalt eat up the leaves and lose thy fruit, and leave thyself as a dry tree. A wicked soul shall destroy him that had it, and shall make him to be laughed to scorn of his enemies. Sweet language will multiply friend, and a fair-speaking tongue will increase kind greetings. Be in peace with many, nevertheless have but one counselor of 1,000. If thou wouldest get a friend, prove him first, and be not hasty to credit him. For some man is a friend for his own occasion, and will not abide in the day of thy trouble. And there is a friend who, being turned to enmity, which is hatred and strife, will discover thy reproach. Again, some friend is a companion at the table, and will not continue in the day of thy affliction, but in the prosperity he will be as thyself, and will be bold over thy servants. If thou be brought low, he will be against thee, and will hide himself from thy face. Separate thyself from thine enemies, and take heed of thy friends. A faithful friend is a strong defense, and he that hath found such, and one had found a treasure. Nothing do countervail a faithful friend, and his excellency is invaluable. A faithful friend is the medicine of life, and they that fear mighty God Ahia shall find him. Whoso feared mighty God Ahia shall direct his friendship aright, for as he is, so shall his neighbor be also. My son, gather instruction from thy youth up, so shalt thou find wisdom till thine old age. Come unto her as one that ploweth and soweth, and wait for her good fruits, for thou shalt not toil much in laboring about her, but thou shalt eat of her fruits right soon. She is very unpleasant to the unlearned. He that is without understanding will not remain with her. She will lie upon him as a mighty stone of trial, and he will cast her from him ere it be long. For wisdom is according to her name, and she is not manifest unto many. Give ear, my son, receive my advice, and refuse not my counsel. And put thy feet into her fetters, and thy neck into her chain. Bow down thy shoulder, and bear her, and be not grieved with her bonds. Come unto her with thy whole heart, and keep her ways with all thy power. Search and seek, and she shall be made known unto thee, and when thou hast got hold of her, let her not go. For at the last thou shalt find her rest, and that she be turned to thy joy. Then shall her fetters be a strong defense for thee, and her chains a robe of glory. For there is a golden ornament upon her, and her bands are purple lace. Thou shalt put her on as a robe of honor, and shalt put her about thee as a crown of joy. My son, if thou wilt, thou shalt be taught, and if thou wilt apply thy mind, thou shalt be prudent. If thou love to hear, thou shalt receive understanding, and if thou bow thine ear, thou shalt be wise. Stand in the multitude of the elders, and cleave unto him that is wise. Be willing to hear every godly discourse, and let not the parables of understanding escape thee. And if thou seest a man of understanding, get thee betimes unto him, and let thy foot wear the steps of his door. Let thy mind be upon the ordinances of mighty God Ahijah, and meditate continually in his commandments. He shall establish thine heart, and give thee wisdom at thine own desire. Do no evil, so shall no harm come unto thee. Depart from the unjust, and iniquity shall turn away from thee. My son, sow not upon the furrows of unrighteousness, and thou shalt not reap them sevenfold. Seek not of mighty God Ahijah preeminence, neither of the king the seat of honor. Justify not thyself before mighty God Ahijah, and boast not of thy wisdom before the king. Seek not to be judged, being not able to take away iniquity, lest any time thou fear the person of the mighty, and stumbling block in the way of thy uprightness. Offend not against the multitude of a city, and them that shall not cast thyself down among the people. Bind not one sin upon another, for in one thou shalt not be unpunished. Say not, mighty God Ahijah will look upon the multitudes of my oblations, and when I offer to the Most High God, he will accept it. Be not faint-hearted when thou makest thy prayer, and neglect not to give alms. Laugh no man to scorn in the bitterness of his soul, for there is one which humbled and exalted. Devise not a lie against thy brother, neither do the like to thy friend. Use not to make any manner of lie, for the custom thereof is not good. Use not many words in a multitude of elders, and make not much babbling when thou prayest. Hate not laborious work, neither husbandry, which the Most High had ordained. Number not thyself among the multitude of sinners, but remember their wrath will not tarry long. Humble thyself greatly, for the vengeance of the ungodly is fire and worms. Change not a friend for any good by no means, neither a faithful brother for the gold of Ophir. Forego not a wise and good woman, for her grace is above gold. Whereas thy servant worketh truly, and treat him not evil, nor the hireling that bestowed himself wholly for thee. Let thy soul love a good servant, and defraud him not of liberty. Hast thou cattle? Have an eye to them, and if they be for thy profit, keep them with thee. Hast thou children? Instruct them, and bow down their neck from their youth. Hast thou daughters? Have a care of their body, and show not thyself cheerful toward them. Marry thy daughter, and so shalt thou have performed a weighty matter, but give her to a man of understanding. Hast thou a wife after thy mind? Forsake her not, but give not thyself over to a light woman. Honor thy father with thy whole heart, and forget not the sorrows of thy mother. Remember that thou wast begotten of them, and how canst thou recompense them the things that they have done for thee? Fear mighty God Ahijah with all thy soul, and reverence his priest. Love him that made thee with all thy strength, and forsake not his ministers. Fear mighty God Ahijah, and honor the priest, and give him his portion, as it is commanded thee, the firstfruits and the trespass offering, and the gift of the shoulders, and the sacrifice of sanctification, and the firstfruits of the holy things. and stretch thine hand unto the poor, that thy blessing may be perfected. A gift hath grace in the sight of every man living, and for the dead detain it not. Fail not to be with them that weep, and mourn with them that mourn. Be not slow to visit the sick, for that shall make thee to be beloved. Whatsoever thou takest in hand, remember the end, and thou shalt never do amiss. Strive not with a mighty man, lest thou fall into his hands, and be not at variance with a rich man, lest he overweight thee, for gold hath destroyed many, and perverted the hearts of kings. Strive not with a man that is full of tongue, and heap not wood upon his fire. Just not with a rude man, lest thy ancestors be disgraced. Reproach not a man that turneth from sin, but remember that we are all worthy of punishment. Dishonor not a man in his old age, for even some of us wax old. Rejoice not over thy greatest enemy being dead, but remember that we die all. Despise not the discourse of the wise, but acquaint thyself with their proverbs, for of them thou shalt learn instruction, and how to serve great men with ease. Miss not the discourse of the elders, for they also learn of their fathers, and of them thou shalt learn understanding, and to give answer as need requireth. Kindle not the coals of a sinner, lest thou be burnt with the flame of his fire. Rise not up in anger at the presence of an injurious man, lest he lie in wait to entrap thee in thy words. Lend not unto him that is mightier than thyself, for if thou lendest him, count it but lost. Be not surety above the power, for if thou be surety, take care to pay it. Go not to law with a judge, for they will judge for him according to his honor. Travel not by the way with a bold fellow, lest he become grievous unto thee, for he will do according to his own will, and thou shalt perish with him through his folly. Strive not with an angry man, and go not with him into a solitary place, for blood is as nothing in his sight, and where there is no help he will overthrow thee. Consult not with a fool, for he cannot keep counsel. Do not secret thing before a stranger, for thou knowest not what he will bring forth. Open not thine heart to every man, lest he requite thee with a shrewd turn. Be not jealous over the wife of thy bosom, and teach her not an evil lesson against thyself. Give not thy soul unto a woman, to set her foot upon thy substance. Be not with an harlot, lest thou fall into her snares. Use not much the company of a woman that is a singer, lest thou be taken with her attempts. Gaze not on a maid, that thou fall not by those things that are precious in her, and give not thy soul into harlots, that thou lose not thine inheritance. And look not around about thee in the streets of the city, neither wander thou in the solitary place thereof. Turn away thine eye from a beautiful woman, and look not upon another's beauty, for many have been deceived by the beauty of a woman, for herewith love is kindled as a fire. Sit not at all with another man's wife, nor sit down with her in thine arms, and spend not thy money with her at the wine, lest thine heart incline unto her, and so through thy desires thou fall into destruction. Forsake not an old friend, for the new is not comparable to him. A new friend is a new wine; when it is old, thou shalt drink it with pleasure. Envy not the glory of a sinner, for thou knowest not what shall be his end. Delight not in the thing that the ungodly have pleasure in, but remember that shall go unpunished into the grave. Keep thee far from the man that have power to kill, so shalt thou not doubt the fear of death. And if thou come unto him, make no fault, lest he take away thy life. presently. Remember that thou goest in the midst of snares, and that thou walkest upon the battlements of the city. And near as thou canst guess as thy neighbor, and consult with the wise. Let thy talk be with the wise, and all thy communication in the law of the Most High. And let just men eat and drink with thee, and let the glorying be in the fear of mighty God Ahiah. For the hand of the artificer, for the hand of the artificer, this is a different word I haven't seen before, the work shall be commended, and the wise ruler of the people for his speech. A man of an ill tongue is dangerous in his city, and he that is rash in his talk shall be hated. And we're going to stop at that. 10 chapters a day. We have 51 chapters to go, so we've finished the first 10. Thank you for listening.